up, they're unhappy, and they're about to get a lot unhappier. Rah, 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 rah. Hello there, welcome to Celebrity Big Brother's Little Breakfast. Coming up on this morning's show, we go live to the house when Big Brother tells that lot who is up for eviction this week. Funny man Dave Gorman and George Galloway's constituent is here. To tell us what he thinks about this year's Celebrity Housemates, and if that's not enough, and it is. We are joined by Tory MP Ed Vaizey and George Galloway's friend and agent Wendy Bailey to hear their take on what happens when a serving MP moves into the Big Brother house. There they are. But we start, as we always do, my friends, with Little Brother's big news. OK, first up, 11:55 a.m, the housemates were left high and dry when they discovered the age-old Big Brother problem, a shortage of loo roll. Let's take a look. I'm looking for a toilet paper, is there any?
No, there isn't any.
That is true humiliation, isn't it?
It depends on your size. For you, it'd be like 5 or 6 sheets of toilet paper. And then right down to each got half of one.
We can't drip dry like you guys can.
Learn something every day, don't you?
Barrymore in the news a lot today because at 22:07, Michael Barrymore is rumbled by Tracy as he preens himself in the bedroom. Let's take a look.
Hi, Tracy.
Hi. What are you doing?
Well, I'm trying to get the hairs out of my nose, but this isn't the ones I bought these to come out, and they're like too thick.
Looks all right. And he made it a hat-trick because at 3:33 this morning, who's up at 3:33? Michael gave Jodie some stern words of advice.
In this business, keep your mouth shut and your ears open. You are...
Oh, thank you very much, but...
What?
I can't change who I am, and who I am is to say
No, you
everything I
can
think and
change
feel.
who you are because you're not doing
I
your...
want to.
The last thing you need in this game, or any business, or any walk of life, is to have... Listen, to have a go at each other. You don't need that. Don't slag other people off. Keep your mouth shut.
And we've got live nominations later on. It's going to be amazing. In true breakfast fashion, we have to take a look, obviously, at this morning's weather. First up here, what have we got? Well, after some sexist comments yesterday from Dennis, how about that? Things got a fairly frosty reception from Farrier, and that's caused a pretty cold front to develop between them there. Tensions in the house caused 3 areas of hot air to collide last night. You just saw it there. Michael, Jodie and Pete, resulting in a massive ridge of high pressure in the house. It could clear later, and things continue to be a little bit foggy around Maggot. We haven't seen him much lately, very poor visibility. He hasn't been around much. He's been, it has to say, a bit of a pea super. And we've got some stormy warnings. Heavy downpours and overcast conditions are imminently expected when the nomos are revealed. That, my friends, was BBLB's news and weather. So, last night, the first housemates to go to bed were Rula, Dennis, Farrier and Tracy at 12:30 a.m. Pete and Michael were the last to go to bed at 5:04 a.m. What time is it now? What, 8? Man, that is extraordinary. Let's take a look at what's going on in the house right now. Tracy, not a problem. Up, preening herself, having a good time, enjoying herself there. Can we cut to anyone else, or is it almost Tracy and makeup watch? That's it. Oh, there's Jodie. Now, she was up late, arguing, as you're well aware. And she's up. She can only be herself, and that's exactly what she's being right now. Yesterday afternoon, the housemates nominated for the very first time, and this morning they have an unusually early wake-up call at 7 a.m. Very soon they'll be gathered on the sofas for an announcement, and we'll be going live to the house in just a few, 15 minutes to be precise, to see the look on their little celebrity faces as Big Brother reveals who is up for eviction on Friday. But first, one housemate's absence from the house is making the world, it's making as many headlines in the world as his presence in the Big Brother house. Let's take a look.
He's a I think George Galloway, the MP, should be out in his community helping it about rather than punching about in the Big Brother house.
I think it's fantastic that George Galloway's in the Big Brother house. He's a strong guy, he's not scared, and I'm interested to hear his views.
If somebody's sitting here with something that, for me, was a sign of racism, I'd have to deal with it.
I just can't believe that an MP, George Galloway, would be allowed to take 23 working days to spend in the Big Brother house on his own self-promotion.
I thought I'd be able to make a bigger mark than I've made.
You should concentrate on being in Parliament and taking care of us, rather than being on telly and being famous.
I don't think George Galloway should be in Big Brother house. I think he should be here in Bethnal Green doing his job.
Here to talk about Gorgeous George, our Tory MP Ed Vaizey, and George Galloway's agent and friend, Wendy Bailey, everybody. Welcome, guys. The big question is, on everyone's lips, seems to be, should a serving MP take part in a reality show? Ed, you're a serving MP, no stranger to the media world. Would you do it?
I certainly wouldn't do Big Brother. I wouldn't risk doing Big Brother and putting myself in the hands of the producers of this show. But, I mean, Anne Widdecombe did Celebrity Fit Club.
Yeah.
So she's pioneered doing that. And MPs like Boris Johnson, Charlie Kennedy have done Have I Got News For You? So there's nothing wrong with doing a popular programme. I just think it's horses for courses. And putting yourself in Big Brother, I would never do.
What would you do?
I'd do Strictly Come Dancing.
Oh.
Free fitness regime. Fantastic.
So do you think it's OK for an MP to be away from his constituents for this length of time?
Personally, I don't. I mean, MPs do go away. They go on what you would call junkets, what we would call fact-finding missions abroad. But generally speaking, you're always in touch with your office. You're always on the end of the phone. You're always in control. There's nothing wrong with an MP being away. There will be MPs away when Parliament is sitting all the time. But the trouble with what George is doing is it's high profile, it's in your face, all his constituents are seeing him, what he's up to in the House, which is nothing, and also he's not in touch with his office. So, personally, I think that's not a good thing to do.
Lee and his agent, obviously know George very well. Why is he doing it?
He's doing it because it's good for politics. He's there to try to reach an audience who is turned off by politics, who doesn't care and doesn't understand that politics actually affects everybody's lives. Whether the bus ran late this morning, whether the trains are running, whether your drains are blocked, whatever. And it's an important thing to get the message across about politics. George has been very impressive talking over the breakfast table about issues of racism, about low pay. I've heard him talk about all kinds of issues. It's much better, isn't it, to hear that rather than shall I wash my hair today?
Well, this is, my three theories on this, if you don't mind, because I have no problem with being in the House at all, and I'm a bit of a nerd when it comes to politics. Firstly, correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of MPs have second jobs.
Yeah, absolutely.
OK. Secondly, like you said, is bringing politics to the people. And thirdly, if someone came up to me and said, listen, your MP's going to be away, your local MP's going to be away for a couple of weeks, are you going to be all right? I'd go, yeah, I think I'll manage. George has had two hats in the House, a housemate hat and a politician's hat. Let's take a look at those two hats in action.
Brothers and sisters, let's be quiet for a minute and clear this fundamental point up. Is it £4 per person per day?
No.
For 4 days? You don't need large numbers of people who are different for racism to flourish.
Yeah.
Having heard from you, your own mouth, the kind of life you live, I'm not sure that an Eskimo can be described by you as primitive. As British political figures go, I'm kind of closer to the street than most.
Ladies and gentlemen!
If I can make a request, I don't know if there's a chance of earplugs, little things that you get on the aircraft. It's just the cacophony of snoring is becoming orchestral. You must remember this. A kiss is still a kiss. A sigh is just a sigh. The fundamental things apply. I thought people would say, what's it like being in the House of Commons? I mean, like Chantal said to me, does that mean you work in that big room with the green seats?
So very briefly, guys, do you think he's got more to gain or lose by going in?
I think you don't know. I mean, in a sense, George Galloway's well known. He's got an image in the public's mind anyway. He's possibly got something to gain if he's obviously gone on to get his point of view across. And if he can do that, if he wins, he's probably got a lot to gain. But equally, he could lose.
And he seems to have taken a severe dislike to Jodie. Can you see them working things out?
I think that he's just leading and looking at opportunities and trying to say, look, there's a bigger picture here. You can't really call Eskimos primitive. And I think he's got so much to gain. His constituencies, some of them have been saying, I've never seen him. I thought he was miserable old what's-it or whatever. And they're seeing him as a real human being who has got views and issues, and he's not ranting. And I think it's brilliant.
Thank you so much. And Wendy, everybody, please. That is it for part one. We are back with live nominations after the break. See you then. Goodness me. Welcome back to Celebrity Big Brother's Little Breakfast. In just a couple of minutes' time, Dave Gorman's going to be here to give us his take on this year's celebrities. But first, yesterday the housemates nominated for the first time, and this morning Big Brother gave them an extra early wake-up call. They gathered them on the sofas. Let's cross live to the house right now.
This is Big Brother. The housemates nominated for eviction this week are... Order. George. And Jodie. And Pete.
And
housemates are now free to leave the living room.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, this is when the tension starts, people. Let's go. This is when it starts.
See, they got us up for that.
This is when it starts.
What do we do now?
Eh?
What do we do now?
There we go, big shower.
We can go back to bed, I think.
I don't know what to say.
That was really weird.
What was?
Just that announcement.
Why?
No, it's just...
Dennis was bothered, wasn't he? Yeah. So, Big Brother has spoken. George, Jodie and Pete are up for eviction. Who goes? You decide. These are the numbers to call. To evict George, dial 09911 32 33 04 or text George to 844 44. To evict Jodie, dial 09911 32 33 05 or text Jodie to 844 44. And to evict Pete, dial 09911 32 33 08 or text Pete to 844 44. And lines closed during Davina's show on Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Dave Gorman.
How you doing, mate?
How are you, Dave? So, George, Jodie or Pete will be the first celebrity to be evicted 2006. Surprised?
Yes. I'm surprised by Pete. I thought he was doing OK and I think he seems quite popular. Yeah, and he's very smart and funny and good value, I think. So I think he's a shoo-in to survive. I think it's going to be between George or Jodie.
Who do you think out of those two?
I'd like to think Jodie because life is not... To go. I think life is not an 1830 holiday and she seems to think it is. And the thing that's really getting my goat with the whole of them, bunch of them anyway, is this kind of victim mentality. And she's a big part of this. This idea that all the bad things that have ever happened to her are not her fault and how dare you judge me on my looks and things. You're a model. That's what models do. They get judged on their looks. There's nothing else that you do in your life. Your nose looks like it's caught a frisbee. Get real.
I can't laugh, but I'm
not interested.
Behind you, Ruler is at the moment comforting Jodie there. As we can see, look.
OK.
What do you think of that?
Well, I think Ruler is good. I like Ruler a lot,
Ruler.
and I think Ruler is going to be there when it comes down to the final 3 or 4. I think she'll still be in the game.
Class, isn't she?
Absolutely. But,
what do you think of it so far this year? Because normally there's a couple of days of politeness, but what I've realised is already you can see that, you know, I think it's cast very well this year because they just don't seem to be getting on particularly.
No, I'm loving it this year. I do think the inclusion of Chantel is a fantastic thing, and well done to Big Brother for that. I think that was absolutely hilarious. She's brilliant. She's sweet, and you can't talk about her without being patronising.
It was a big gamble, wasn't it? Because invariably they could have turned on her, or the public could have turned on her, but everyone seems to be sort of embracing.
But it's almost it's kind of clever casting because of the mix of the ages of people involved. George Galloway obviously doesn't know who Preston is, anyway. So why would he suspect that Chantel is? I mean, it's a very nice mix of people, so that there are going to be people they don't know. So another one kind of slips under the radar a bit nicely. I like her. I mean, she's... Candy Floss doesn't even exist, and she's already not the smartest person in Candy Floss. Do you know what I mean? But she's lovely.
It's funny, going back to your victim thing, or theory here, is that Jodie is the one that's getting comforted there, and is the one that's obviously visibly upset, and, you know... But I don't know if you ever know whether Pete's visibly upset or not, but George seems to be doing OK. Do you have a favourite moment so far?
I think it is Chantel winning her task, passing that mission. I think it's a fantastic thing, and the sort of joy in her eyes when she realises she's going to stay in there, and and the surprise and every kind of, is this a trick, kind of pervaded everything that she said for a couple of hours.
Your favourite housemates, I believe, so far are Preston and Maggot.
Preston and Maggot, absolutely.
Let's take a look at them first and then give us your take on them afterwards.
Preston, what?
Chill it out there. Maggot fun should go looking Shane. Just here to make the numbers up.
Doing Celebrity Brother, yeah? So I'm doing today as well.
Don't know what you sing. Can you sing one to me?
No, we're well good.
What do you want? I don't know.
This is like a bit of a social experiment.
I used to have a puffer jacket. Then I put the hood on, a big maggot.
Tackle Preston very briefly first.
Yeah.
Why is it you like Preston?
I think Preston, one, I like his music, actually. It's as simple as that. But also, it's the way they entered the house and his kind of swagger and attitude. And also the kind of, like, the reason that Chantel passed her task is because those two guys are self-effacing and polite enough to not have an ego to think, well, no, I'm more famous than you.
Sure.
They're just like, wherever, I'll stand here. And she got away with it.
And what about Maggot? Because I'm a bit worried about Maggot. I haven't seen him much for the last couple of days.
I thought when Maggot walked into the house, almost his first words were, I'm here to make up the numbers. And I thought, you're here till the end.
Yeah.
The minute he said that, I thought that is absolutely the attitude. And I believe him. I think... Godly-looking chain, you're not expecting a huge, long career from them. No disrespect, but they are Morris Minor and the Majors for a new millennium. and I think he's making hay while the sun shines, and good luck to him for that.
Absolutely. You're going to stick around with us for now. Dave, go on, everybody. As you know, on Friday, the first celebrity housemate will be evicted. We like to be ahead of the game here on BBLB and predict who will be the first out in our unique little way. As we know who the nominees are, it's time for this week's eviction prediction. Le Mans, Monaco, Silverstone, Hockenheim, homes to some of the fastest and most exhilarating races on Earth. And now, racing has come to Bora Wood. Our in-house nerds spent the best part of a working day building one of the most demanding courses in the history of snail racing. For the past 48 hours, these elite specimens have been in an intensive training camp right here in Boreham Wood, adjusting to the altitude and climate, sometimes reaching breakneck speeds of 30 miles per year, leaving nothing but a trail of slime in their wake. And here it is. OK, how about this? Just to be clear, it's a snail race with each snail representing a nominated housemate. OK, we can take a look at the course now. As you can see, the finish line's up there. Now, I know what you're thinking immediately. Dermot, those snails are going to have a fair problem getting up that veritable Eiger of a staircase. Well, they'll just have to negotiate their way around it. There are several obstacles on the track. A couple of sleeping policemen there. As you can see down here, although the thing I've picked out are these quite hungry-looking birds, as you can see there. I don't know if I've seen some starlings in my back garden smash snails and eat them so far. I believe these might be some sort of tit or finch variety, but they'll be there waiting for them, maybe coming up to Friday there, as we can take a look. However, as bad as the birds are, for me, this is the veritable Beecher's Brook for snails when it comes to for track racing. As you can see, it's a working road. So obviously they're going to have trouble here. Various milk floats, cars and lorries coming over there. Maybe, oh my God, they're enormous.
They are.
Dave, you're here to start the race for us.
Okay.
So if you would.
Okay, snails, are you ready? On your marks, set, go!
Slip sliding away, slip sliding away. You know the nearer your destination, the more you slip sliding away.
This little fella looks good, doesn't he?
He actually does look like Pete.
Remember, the last one across the line is the one who is out. Dave, we'll leave them to it if you'd like to come back into the studio with me. Remember, the snails have got to get until Friday to get between here and the house. The last one over the finish line will be evicted, and that will be the eviction prediction. It's time for Ask BBLD, which is quite simply your reactions to the nominations today. Ed and Wendy are still with us, as is Dave, of course. Let's go straight to the phones. Who is first up? I believe it's Kieran from Newcastle. Hello, Kieran.
Hello, Dermot. It's Karen, not
Kieran. I beg your pardon, Karen. How are things? All right?
Very, very well. Good morning, boys.
Good morning.
My question really is, it's all about George, and the ego has landed. How do you think he's going to cope with not influencing people the way a politician was meant to do?
OK. George is up for eviction. How will he cope?
Well, politicians hate losing. You can see it on his face. We're there to win votes, win elections. This is the business he's in. He's the professional vote winner on Celebrity Big Brother, and he's coming bottom of the poll at the moment.
He actually said before he went in, I said, do you think you could win? He said, if I win, it will be my greatest election victory since my last one.
Yeah.
I'm one of his constituents. I'd like him out because I want a word about the bins.
Yeah.
Is April in Perth there?
Hi, good morning, Dermot.
OK, go for it, April, very quickly.
Good morning, esteemed panel. Do you think that George, Jodie or Pete will adopt a game plan to try and keep themselves in this week?
I think Jodie's got to take lessons from Barrymore and be less of a victim and keep her mouth shut.
Put a jumper on, that might do. Yeah. That might work.
Dave, last word?
Jodie, I think she thinks she's got a game plan, which is to wear less clothes, and I don't like it.
OK, fair enough. That is pretty much it. We are back tomorrow at the same time with Myling Clark and Pete Burns' partner, Michael. Don't forget to watch Big Brother tonight, 9 o'clock, to find out who nominated who, followed by Big Mouth at 10 o'clock on E4. But now, make like a snail. Stick around, because I'll be back after the break with Morning Glory, where I am joined by Josie Darby and exclusive From the Darkness. We'll see you in 3. Have a great day. Take care. Thank you very much.